Hello and welcome to Acting on Impulse's online launch of award-winning film, Penalty. So Acting on Impulse is a charity. We work with people who've been homeless or marginalised or are just going through some stuff. They get to come to regular workshops and develop their own ideas through film or theatre, leave anything that's going on at the door, and then it all heads towards doing a big main film project. And this particular project was Penalty. Penalty was devised with the guys in the workshops through lots of different exercises and improvisations, bringing loads of different ideas and issues to the table. That then was kind of goes into a bit of a melting pot, and then from that, the script was written. It's definitely one of our most challenging films we've ever done. It includes big twists, a real mix of acting styles, quite abstract, surreal. So it gave the actors a chance to really push the characters that they were playing and have a real sense of mystery around it as well. So today we're going to hear from some of the actors and sort of hear about how they came to find out about Acting on Impulse, what they've got out of it, and their roles in Penalty. So we have Deborah and Jada joining us here. Do you want to say a big hello?
Hi guys.
It's great to see you.
Good to be here.
Obviously, in these times, it's we've not been getting together. Workshops haven't been on. Everything, life's a bit crazy, but it's wonderful to find this way to get to see you, and to cast our mind back to a couple of years ago where we did one of the most bizarre films I think we've ever done, but it was a great experience working with you guys on it. And Jada, it was your first production, and you came back, so although it was bizarre, hopefully we didn't put you off too much. So I'm going to start with Debbie. Can you tell us a little bit how you ended up getting involved in Acting on Impulse?
Just over 5.5 years ago now, I was in a treatment centre for alcoholism, and Acting on Impulse come on to do one of their workshops. They said, would you like to be in one of our films? And I went, yeah. And then at 37 days sober, I made my very first film with some of the colleagues from the treatment centre. And I just knew that it was for me.
That's great. On that note then, the workshops, tell us, what is the atmosphere at the workshops like? What it's like going to them? Is it nerve-wracking, sort of acting in front of people you don't know?
Oh, they're the best days of my time. I look forward to them. When I was first to come in the treatment centre and I seen AOI on my calendar on the second week, I just had something to look forward to. Every week is completely different, but the most amazing thing is the people around us. It's like being in a little cocoon of kindness and love, and nobody judges you, nobody challenges you on anything. They just let you do what you do best, and it's only by going there that we've been able to find out what we do best. Some of us are good at dialogue, some of us are good at acting, some of us are good at adding to the script, and it's everybody finding their own little niche in it, in a really, really safe, beautiful environment. It's the process. It's the starting on the first day, the excitement of not knowing what we're going to be doing, being asked what we want to do. We're given a project. We just get given a name. We're going to do a horror this year. All right, then what we're going to do with it. And we met on this film. Could you just give us a bit of an insight into what your first experiences were with Acting on Impulse?
Yeah, I showed up, and it was a lot of fun. I can't lie. And yeah, it was just a lot of improvising, devising, and then we get different workshops based on what the next film was going to be about. So I think I remember one of the workshops was about fake news and fear.
And then talking about Penalty, you had quite a big part. The difference between you and some of the others was that you were entering this strange hotel with this strange atmosphere, not knowing what's going on, and everyone else was playing the people inside the hotel. So for you, acting wise, what was that like? What was that character like?
So for me, it was the first time I've performed in front of a camera. So that was really, really daunting, because I didn't realize how close they would actually be to your face. Like, I think the biggest challenge for me for filming was the actual cameras and not looking at them.
And then what was it like with the other characters around? Because obviously there was some strange makeup going on. There was like, to sort of keep a straight face and stay in character. And that's where I think, as much as what Debbie's touched on, like the workshops are such a lovely place to come, and it's like friendship and it's community and it's great. But actually, when you get on set, everybody turns into literally professional actors, like doing 12-hour shoot days, concentrating, managing to keep a straight face most of the time when you're filming. How was that? How did you manage that?
I think like the first scene, I think, was like just entering, and you had like Debbie and I can't remember who else, but they just stood there just smiling at you, not breaking character at all. And I'm stood there and I'm like, wow. I was like, but concentrate. Everyone else is concentrating, concentrate. Because it was a lot of ensemble work. I think that's what made it very, very special, because everyone really had to rely on themselves and each other to make sure that everything worked. There was a lot, I don't know, like not non-verbal dialogue was what really made it. And this is going to sound really dark, but I think because all of us were not sure until the premiere what was going on, and added that little bit of spice, that little bit of mystery. We were just like, oh, I wonder how it's going to turn out. What do you think? Oh, I don't know, pal. Like, you know what I mean?
It was definitely a big part of the fun from my point of view from this, because like Debbie, you touched on earlier, it is a big cooking pot of ideas from you guys in the workshops, and it always amazes me how much imagination everyone has, and then trying to take as much as those things into that script as possible, to the point that I think people forget and think, oh, where did that idea come from? And they forget that was an improvisation in one of the workshops. Or
Yeah.
So I think the fact that it really has come from all your ideas as well makes it a very special film. And it was definitely fun playing with the effects and all of that stuff as well. So end result, when you got to see it on the big screen, everyone's obviously waiting, very excited to see it online at last. So for you guys, when you saw it on the big screen at the premiere, what was that like?
It was it was so weird seeing my face on such a wide screen. First of all, that was so weird, but it looks stunning. It was such a stunning looking film, and then the effects was so cool, and just the whole, I can't even describe it. It was just beautiful. It was just something so magical.
Cool. And what about you, Debs?
It was just a camaraderie again of us all together, and you could, Father Christmas could have come on at the end and it wouldn't matter. It's the process of all being together with our families, in a room and watching ourselves on television.
There's always a lot of truth that comes into the films as well. You know, it used to be purely about like what's it like to be homeless, and over the years we've expanded. It's not just about that. It's the reason why people might have been, or it's, you know, it's other issues that people might be going through, and it's about seeing people leave those issues at the door, and it's not about that anymore. You're then a company of actors, and that's what I always admire about everybody in the room, because everyone just becomes actors the minute they walk in. What would you say you get out of, or you witness other people getting out of acting on Impulse?
I think, like you said, once everyone gets into the room, everyone becomes actors. Like, there's just no, everyone is equal. Once they get into the room, everyone's equal. Everyone has the same opportunities. Everyone has the same, will get out the same experience with everybody else. You just feel really at home. Like, you don't feel any sort of baggage from like the outside. Everything is just nice, calm, fun, and everyone just really gets along, and I love it.
Great. Well, both of you were fantastic in the film Penalty, and not long until our viewers will be watching you, and you can watch it again to remind yourself what a bonkers project it was, but with an amazing achievement from all of you. So thank you both. It's been brilliant to speak to you, and we've missed you. Yeah, enjoy watching Penalty in just a moment. We'd really like to encourage you to support the work of Acting on Impulse so that these actors get to keep doing it and we can keep meeting new people who really need to have this in their lives. So please, on the website, actingonimpulse.net, there's a giving button, click it, anything you can donate so that we can keep on getting these people together, meeting more and more people, helping them forget and move on from the issues in their lives and remind them of the voice that they have. So to help us be able to do that work, we'd really appreciate it if you can just click on the giving button on the Acting on Impulse website, www.actingonimpulse.net, then it will be going to a very worthy cause. So now we have Peter, who was a great part in Penalty. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Lauren. How are you?
Good, thank you. Great to see you, even if it is over a computer screen instead of our usual live setting.
Yeah, it's not quite normally how we do it, but it'll do, yeah.
So Peter, could you just start off telling us how you got involved with Acting on Impulse?
I was in rehab at the time in Manchester, in Stockport, and there was a flyer on the wall, an advert for Acting on Impulse. It just said, actors come, or if you're not an actor, basically, come down, and there's free acting lessons. And I was that desperate to find something to do with myself that I plucked up the courage to actually come down. So we did a mini project at our rehab. It was like a really, really short film. And then we were invited along to come to the actual acting workshops that they do in Manchester that are available for anybody.
What was it like going from the mini project to that main project?
It was scary once you got to the actual filming. There was all this professional crew with cameras and makeup artists all asking if you want a drink and treating you like stars. And they actually treat you like royalty, which is we were all very surprised about because we weren't used to being treated like royalty. I actually think it's a brilliant thing to do for people with mental health problems or people in recovery, because you're trying to change everything about you and take risks and learn to cope with failure. So I actually think acting is probably the scariest thing you can do, and it actually works really well. There's also a part of it is that you're not acting, you're actually being yourself when you bring these characters. When you try and create these characters or you try and act, a part of it's always you. And it's good to embrace that when you've got mental health problems or you're in recovery. So I actually think the two work together really well, even though you wouldn't imagine it. And I didn't imagine it at the time. I look back and it seems mad. It seems like a crazy thing to do, but in some ways it actually makes perfect sense. It kick-started everything for me, not just as my potential career, but just learning how to make mistakes, learning how to be something different, how to try and consider yourself as an artist or a performer. Just these things were foreign to me before I joined Acting on Impulse. People like me really didn't do things like this, and there wasn't really a platform.
So Penalty was actually your second big film that you did. So you were coming back, I guess, with a bit more confidence. You knew what the process was going to be, but it was a very different project, wasn't it? Penalty wasn't a straightforward film. So just tell us a bit about the experience with that film particularly.
A lot of us liked it, to be honest, because it was very different to what we normally do. Normally was the sort of gritty dramas or social issues, whereas Penalty was very much a dystopian future and a sci-fi, and it was cool. It was really good. So for our characters, we had a military background, and the best way we could do it was just try to be as robotic as possible. We wanted to bring a threatening feel into our characters. So we wanted to feel a bit traumatised, a bit not with it, and a bit separated from ourselves in some ways.
One of the things about Penalty that hasn't really happened before is that because we felt it was such a unique piece, we got it into a few festivals, and it was successful. It won a few and got nominated or in shortlists. And I think for me the most exciting thing is that we know it got played out to audiences in like loads of different locations, including Hollywood, which was always a great one to say, and like places in Europe, literally around the globe. How does it feel for you knowing that a film that you were in has been seen on a global level like that?
It's a pretty special feeling, to be honest, because it's a very difficult thing to do, and especially as I'm sort of studying film now, and we're trying to make little short films, and none of them are anywhere near good enough to actually go into a festival. So to know that we've done it with the actors that we've got in our community, to have actually been screened in Hollywood and around the world, yeah, it's special. It's really, really good.
Well, thank you so much for joining, Peter. It's been lovely to see you, and can't wait to see your intense military part in the film again in just a moment. So it is time to launch the film Penalty. Sit back, watch it, enjoy it, and please share it, comment. These guys worked so hard to create this film. A lot has gone into it. They're amazing, I'm sure you'll agree. And it'd be great to just get it seen by a few people, see what you interpret it as you've heard from these discussions. It's a bit of a weird one with loads of underlying themes that I hope you'll spot from our chats today. Thank you so much for joining, and we really hope you enjoy it.